Three, two, yes. Hello and welcome to another edition. Yes, we are here, the GHB Spotlight here on and recap here on JLJ Media. I'm the JLJ of JLJ Media. And of course, I'm not alone, Frank Moran.
So hey, hi, everybody. James, I feel like they truly miss out on these little pre-show bits of conversation we have. It's just
shenanigans we have. Yeah, they don't even know anything. They don't know anything. They don't even know any stuff we're talking about. Okay, you guys. So we're here. Lucretia couldn't make it. She's out of her town. So she can't make it. So we do miss her. Hopefully she'll come back with us sometime in 2021. We'll see what happens. But we're here to tell you about General Hospital and all things happening in Port Charles. I was going to tell you as we're doing all this earlier today. Bold and Beautiful. It is out now. Great little recap. Done. Y&R. Great recap. It's out there. Done. So take a look at those both. They're on all the streaming services. They're on YouTube at JLJ Media. Watch one of those shows. Hi, Lori C. Okay, and if you're an Eric Braeden fan who plays Victor Newman, I did an interview with him. It's out now too. Why don't we spotlight Eric Braeden? He's the bomb. It's out also. Another thing is we interviewed Tanner Novlin. I don't know what that is. He plays Finn, who got married this week on Bold and Beautiful. It's out right now too. Check that out. He's a fun guy. Me and Amanda Russ had a great interview with him. And it was a lot of fun. So that's taken care of. Those are all out there for you to watch, listen to, enjoy, scream at, whatever you want to do. And why are folks texting me? We are.
Well, don't forget your great interview with your boy Max.
Oh yeah. So if you guys haven't watched it yet, oh my God. Max Updates GH. I sat down with him, 7-year-old who knew like history and contracts. He's crazy. Great interview. It's out now to Jason Spotlight. Max Updates GH and updates me. We're talking a little bit of wrestling. He wants to be a wrestler. I asked him if he wants to be a broadcaster and all this. He's like, no, I'll be a wrestler. Like, okay, after all this. But he's a great kid, and that one's out also. So please take a listen because he knows his stuff. He tells you who he thinks is cute. He tells you who he likes. It's just hilarious. Oh, you guys like the interview? Yeah, it was hilarious. And I told him he's welcome back on. I might bring him on this show with us, Frank, one day. Have him do the show with us.
All right. He'll show me up easily.
He'll show me up really easy too. I think I'll just take over the show. Yeah, we can get that. That's great interview with Max. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot. I like kids, so it was a lot of fun. So that's all the goodness of the church announcements. Okay, so let's get. Okay, so everybody's already talking about Drew coming. That's the whole Cameron Madison's coming on as Drew. We know that it's coming up soon. They made the announcement today, so we will see that at some point. But let's talk about the week that was, Frank. So a lot of different things happened this week. There's like little bits of stuff. Nothing super exciting to me. I just felt like it was just like, here's a piece of story. Here's two people because Sean's doing the whole I'm Back Out tour. Yeah. It's like he's over here now. Then you got the Carly and Jackson kind of fighting. Then this Joe Novak guy. Okay, well, let's start with him. I'm not afraid of him.
No. I guess it all depends on if what Jason and Carly talk about at the end, where yes, he's getting support from other people that aren't necessarily heads of the family. So So I guess it all depends on who he's getting support. If who he's getting support from is somebody that's very cool, maybe has some history with the show, a big name actor, then maybe I'll take it a little bit more seriously because he's just the front guy. But if it's just like it's a bunch of other no-name guys that are saying they support me, I'm going to care very little about this.
And I agree with you. What's funny about this character is they're making him like this rogue guy. We already saw his uncle, whatever, and it was like he wasn't supporting him. But now I'm making him like he's rogue, but it's okay. He doesn't care. Like I don't know why he's angry at them. Like I don't even know what's going. I mean, I don't get the motivation. All I know is he has very blue eyes.
Yes.
I was like, those eyes, him and Jason had the blue eyes stare off. I was just like, Jesus Christ, there's some blue ass eyes going on here.
And I don't understand, I mean, other than just, giving everybody a little moment this week. But the scene of going to Jocelyn over at Kelly's, okay. I mean, I guess it was just to reinforce he's an idiot.
Yeah. it was just so creepy. It was like, cause they were, even her, and they were like, they were looking like, okay,
Yes.
great. And I mean, we love my Eden. I'm sure she was probably thinking somewhere in there. She's like, why is this storyline happening like this? Why is this happening? I don't know what's going on. It just seemed creepy. It just like, it's like, okay. And he just like, he's not, see, Cyrus was known for going through and just being annoying. That was Cyrus' thing. He always slid in somewhere, made some commentary, and slid out. That's what he did with that ponytail. I miss the ponytail, man. I miss it.
Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, there was a way that he did it that was unlike anybody that we have currently on the canvas.
Right. He was known for that. He would come in, just say just to bug the S out of you, and then you just go away. And you're like, okay, man, that's what he did. He did it very well. I mean, he did it very well. So but this guy, I don't feel any okay. But Jax does. And Jax was actually correct. Jax is not wrong in the situation. Carly's telling him to back off. Like, back off. It's my daughter. What are you talking about? I mean, it's not. I mean, he actually, I think people in the chat room saying the same thing. He actually, and he figured out why. But I had to get points that Carly made me laugh. She goes, I don't care if I'm raised, it's just a random Tuesday and I want to marry him. I had to laugh when she said that. It's none of your business. I did think it was kind of funny. But he was like, well, it's our daughter. So our daughter. I mean, that whole exchange actually I kind of liked, but he was actually correct. Jax was correct.
It is very rare. And I was realizing during the conversation between Carly and Jax when it comes to Jocelyn, that Carly will ever admit that she's made a mistake when it comes to in terms of Jocelyn. And she still won't give it up on this one either. She, still not giving it up. And it always makes it seem like, hey, Jax, you're really being rude or overstepping your bounds by coming to me like this. I'm like, oh, hold on. The guy's got a point.
Hello. I mean, you gotta love Carly for she will die on the hill for stuff. Trust me, she will die on the hill. But but he's right. And yes, Jocelyn is kind of used to it. Yes, Jocelyn goes with the flow, but I don't blame him. I'm sorry. I'm a father too. I understand. I get it. I don't blame him for being a little like, this is a little much. But again, I'm not afraid of Joey Novak, so whatever. But him and his goons stopping Jason just made me laugh. I didn't even get what that was either. It's just like, okay.
I did like that they had to make sure that they were pulling their suit jackets back just a little bit to show that they had the guns. Yeah, because otherwise we wouldn't have thought that they were armed. Jason, we're armed. Audience, we're armed.
But no, you mean the funny part is how loud they were being while they were sitting out there. People were walking in, different carriages, and it was like, what's going on? They're staring at people as they walked in. I'm just like, Anna was like looking at them like, who the hell are these people? I mean, like it was so bizarre to me when Elizabeth and Finn came in. It was like they were so loud out there. It's like, what's going on? I just didn't.
I was really hoping that we were going to get one of those nice classic Kelly gets attacked. Kelly's gets attacked by somebody scenes. I mean, it's been a while since I think it was even back to the days of like Jagger and Karen, where the Kellys got attacked big time. So I was like, all right, we're gonna get this. They've been hanging out there, and they finally say, screw it, let's just go mess some stuff up inside of Kelly's. But no. But at least it gave Jocelyn a chance to kind of show, stand up and say, are you sure you really want me to tell Jason? Because I will. I'm happy to tell him. In fact, I'll make sure I tell him. So don't worry.
That was good. No, she's her mother's daughter. It was good. That was good. A lot happened at Kelly's. All of a sudden, they went back to that set, Frank. They said, we're going to use this. We haven't used it in a while. They went back there, and a lot of different things happened there. And one of the things that happened there was we had the return of a character. Is it the same actress, folks? Because I couldn't remember it was the same actress. Naomi is back. The mother of Hayden, which I didn't see that coming, actually. I didn't the mother's back. Okay. I mean, they didn't see it coming either, Frank.
I know, it took me a second. Even when she came out, I was like, Naomi. It even took me a second to realize, like, oh, yeah, all right. Yeah, that lady. Okie dokie.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so they're heating up this story then. I mean, if this Hayden story really is heating up, I guess. I mean, it's there.
Yeah. I mean, and it seems like, well, depending on how they decide to pace it out. I mean, I thought it might not happen until, Finn and Elizabeth really got locked in. But if everybody's talking about her so much, I don't know if that's really going to happen before she shows up.
Yeah. I'm really, because you have that going on. And then because Sean's doing the whole tour of, hi, I'm out of prison. He's running everybody. But he's working with your buddy Sam, that's actually your favorite thing there. So there's that going on. So you have Sean across town with Ava at one point.
I was bummed that Sean passed on doing like bodyguard detail for her. I'm just like, all right, that'd be a different mix of storyline.
Yeah.
But they just seem to have him really singularly focused on the Hayden thing, which, I guess in one sense, is good because hopefully that drives the story along. But I would miss that, Sean getting mixed up in some other storylines that aren't so Hayden specific.
Yeah. Gabrielle C says it's a different actress for Payson. Okay, I didn't know. I was like, who is she? I just didn't get it. And I mean, it was appropriate that Liz has a little attitude with her, and it was like moved on. But it's in fairness, it's a weird situation because we don't know what's going on with Hayden. Nobody knows. I mean, it's like nobody knows. This chick Naomi, her character was very shady, so we don't. I mean, does she know something? Does she not? I don't know. But Sean and Sam are on the case. They're trying to get on the case. I mean, they're trying to,
Yeah, I mean, I figure they're not going to bring her back unless she can offer something to move that storyline along. Because otherwise, if she's just there to, if there's absolutely nothing else and she's just there to, spend time with Violet, it seems kind of a waste.
Yes, I'm curious. And plus, you still have them walking around knowing that they supposedly killed Peter, and that's out there somewhere. And when Anna sees him, there's the looks and everything. So so there's even that going on still. So that's very interesting. Yes, I go ahead.
Oh no, because I really haven't seen Finn and Elizabeth have any kind of talk since they each were kind of with Jason and Anna respectively about like, hey, maybe we were wrong and Peter really is alive. Does that lift any of the guilt off on us? I mean, it still doesn't mitigate the fact that I pushed him downstairs, but I didn't kill him. So can I lift off some of that burden or not?
And yes, Sean and Ava did look good together. Actually, they were funny because they were kind of going at it a little bit, playfully going at it, and then they had a serious talk, and because she was all about the Sunny thing, because that's their past, and it was like was it 7 years he was in there, 6 or 7 years. He was there for a long time. Literally, I think it has been that long. I think it really has been that long, like in real time.
There are times though where I kind of wish that. Anytime like some major life event happens for a character, depending on what it is, this time I think I'm kind of ready for that. It's just, Sean to do like some big press conference and say, hey, guess what, guys? I'm here to find the real shooter of Hayden Barnes. Because every scene that he has with somebody else, like the Ava scene, it's like, okay, just to remind you guys, I'm looking for Hayden shooter. So
yeah, exactly. I'm sure. Yeah, we got it. Yes, we got it. Well, like I said, we talked to Tana Novlin on Bald View and goes, yeah, there's times when we have to stretch out the dialogue on that show. So yes, that's what they do sometimes. We know that. Also at Kelly's, what happened at Kelly's, we had another situation happen. But pre that situation of Miss Stella, but pre that situation, Portia and Jordan, which we talked about last week, understandably at the moment, she's like, I can't be friends with you at the moment. And I get that part. It was so sad because you can see they both really want to be friends, but she let it be known, the homeboy, that she didn't want the divorce. She was doing it because he wanted to do it. He's like, oh, you don't want the divorce? I'm like, come on, you knew you wanted the divorce. It's like, come on, Curtis. And I love me some Curtis and Donnell, but I was getting upset with the writers, making them act like, well, what do you mean you didn't want the divorce? What are you talking about? Like, she didn't want it. She did because you did it.
Yeah, I mean, because how many conversations was it with Jordan say, can you come back home? Can we try to work on this? And Curtis like, we need our time apart to kind of see how we are individually. And, maybe that brings us back together, maybe not. But I always feel like every time Curtis was saying that, it's like, it doesn't really mean anything. You already in your head know that this is not you're not coming back. No. So.
Yeah. So I was just like, okay. But then there's an end there for Portia. Ooh, on Stella's side, and I'm going to continue to tell you about yourself and bring up the whole past and nothing but the past about you. Meanwhile, while at Kelly's, that was our major. I should subtitle this Kelly's. They had Trina and Curtis have a little conversation. She was picking up food. They had a little conversation. They were nice, and she walks out saying, "I'm so glad you guys weren't cheating on each other." And he gets whatever the whole thing was, and she walks out. Huge to her getting at the right time, just the right time, Frank. You know how that works.
Of course.
Right time. She hears Stella just read Portia up and down the hallway about her just cheating on her man while she was married to her man. And Trina is despondent. And Portia got pissed. Like, okay, lady.
And it was great soap opera walking because you're always like Trina walking right against the wall.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
How many times in life are you walking right up against the wall someplace?
All the time, Frank. I when I was at FBuzz TV, I was against the wall all the time, listening to what's going on behind the studio. I was doing Frank. I don't know.
Now, all right, where do you side on this whole thing between, and this even goes back to last week too with Trina and Curtis, in terms of should Trina know that Portia and Curtis got together while Portia was still married to Taggart?
Well, the thing is, it's for soap reasons, yes. Because, and also in the story, remember she was talking to Spencer afterwards before she got back to her mother, and they had their heart-to-heart talk about seeing your parents for being human beings. That's actually a good lesson. Actually, it's like you home on a pedestal, but they're actually human. And Trina says, I don't want to look at my mother as human. So this she's forced to. And when they were talking about dating, there was also a whole thing about, I know you're 18-year-old Trina. I can stop. I can talk to you about it, but I just want to let you know what's going on. Like, to me, it's very appropriate for our parents. Like, there are things I'm not going to tell you while you're a kid. It's not your business. But we're now she's an adult of some sort. So there'll be a few more things I will talk to you about with. And it literally is time for her to see her mother as her mother, I think. And because Trina's very black or white. If you notice, I love Trina, the character, but she's very black or white sometimes when it comes to all the adults and how things are. This is one way of breaking it down for her. I think Jocelyn's more well-rounded in terms of things not being black or white, where Trina's just like, Curtis did this and he did this and he did, like, so she's trying to learn. So I mean, I felt bad I really felt bad for Trina. So I think for soap reasons, yeah, it's a good reason to do it.
Yeah, and I agree with Jocelyn. I would think the only thing that Jocelyn, I think the closer you get to Jocelyn's heart, the more black and white she gets. Like with Cameron going against Jason, like there was no like, I'm going to see things from Cameron's point of view. This was right. Like, boyo, you're wrong for going against Jason.
Right. Yeah. And, but these are now young adults, her, Jocelyn, Cameron, Spencer. So I think now they're going to try to they're trying to transition them into like more adult territory. I think they're not kids anymore, really. Yeah. So this is one way of doing it. Their parents are messy. That's the thing. The parents are messy. They're all messy. All them parents. Even Portia, they were all messy. And that's the thing about their whole dynamic. Curtis, because remember, Ava brought up Curtis and Jordan. Saying, well, now she's free. Like, well, I mean, but see that whole thing with the brother. It's like they're all messy. They all cheat on each other with everybody else. I mean, it's like it's just all, it's all crazy. It's crazy, and that's why is it Taggart and Jordan getting together? Like, why didn't that happen? Like, it's all kind of incestuous. They're all just kind of like crazy. No, so it is that they're all been together basically.
And it is interesting, like with Curtis, and it just popped into my head as we're talking about this. Other than like having some shady stuff in his background that came before we even saw him on the show, is dealings with drugs and everything, and his relationship with Portia and all that. But since I feel like he's been on canvas, and recently the show hasn't really had him be the wrong person in anything. Yeah. Like he was right, at least the show treats it that he was right with Portia about we should have told Trina because look how it blew up on everybody's faces. Like, all right, it's interesting that Curtis has been kind of Mr. Right all the time.
Yes. Oh yes. So speaking of, so Portia and Stella go at it. Trina hears everything. All of a sudden, our buddy Darrell Anthony, who's here on JLJ Media on Forever a Day, shows up as an intern or orderly or something. And it's like, Dr. Robinson. Dr. Robinson's like, that's Darrell Anthony. You know him. So yes, you can hear him on Forever a Day or Forever a Day After Show here on JLJ Media. He does do under 5 work on there sometimes. So he was there. And that's when her and Stella both saw Trina. It was like, deer in the headlights. And then Stella's like, I'll go after her. She was like, no, bitch. She didn't say that. She wanted to. She was like, no, bitch. I'll take care of my daughter. You stay away from my daughter, bitch. And that was it. And Trina ran to Spencer. Now I'm kind of liking Spencer and Trina, kind of. I'm kind of liking them, I guess. I don't know.
To just dwell on the Portia Stella conversation, it was interesting where it's like Portia was not backing down. She was like, no, you're not talking to me like this. I make my own choices. I've done this, and you're not going to tell me how to raise my daughter. I did like somebody just standing toe to toe with Stella.
Mm-hmm. She did. She didn't care. She's like, it's like, you're not my relative or anything. You're not my in-laws. She's like, I mean, I'm thinking she's thinking to herself, like, I don't know who you are telling me what to do. She's like, I'm a grown. She said, I'm a grown woman. I was like, yeah. And Stella was like, I don't care. I'm going to tell you how I feel. She said, I don't care. I don't care. Stella did not care. That's what's so crazy about it. She did not care. So Spencer and Trina talk. And he kind of mentioned, my father, blah, blah. We talked about a little earlier.
I mean, I do at least like Spencer, trying to, explain to Trina. It's like, yeah, give your parent a chance to explain the situation rather than just, coming to a conclusion on your own and not giving a chance to offer their side.
Yeah, there was that. So that was kind of interesting. And then, but then back at Kelly's. Everything happened at Kelly's this week. We had Stella all of a sudden. Oh my God, what's going on? Where am I? Who am I? Because she didn't say that. But we knew something was wrong all of a sudden.
Yeah.
She was hyped up. They mentioned her blood pressure earlier. So I was like, something's going on. Can you mail this for me? And I heard there's a mailbox down the street somewhere. Has a stroke, folks. In Cameron's arms.
Yes.
Yes.
Manly living arms. I did enjoy how much just to make sure the audience didn't forget. We're really gonna hang a hat.
Tell it, Frank. Tell it.
This envelope. Just, it's Cameron. The main reason, sure, Stella's okay, but I mean, I really need to talk to her about this envelope. I really need to. Then I got thrown out.
And they made sure the audience knew it's destroyed because it said coffee fell. And when I don't know you people at home, when she fell over, I don't remember coffee falling over too. I thought it was just her. But apparently coffee fell everywhere. It soaked the envelope and the contents. And the cleaning people just picked it up and just swept it away. I'm like.
And conveniently, Stella has partial amnesia about some of the stuff. So.
Yeah. So them bitches they're still married, folks. They are still married. That's what's going on. They are still married.
Is there a chance I could go in and talk to her and explain to her what happened about the envelope? Just really break it down in just like detail? Because I'm like, oh boy.
Frankie had one job to do. Don't matter if he had to save a life. He had one job to do. Go down the street and mail that letter.
Even Stella in the hospital bed. Oh boy, that envelope sure sounded important. I'm like, oh, all right. Ding, 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 ding. Got it, guys.
Yes. Oh, let me do that for you. I actually have a bell. We got it. Oh, okay. Also at Kelly's, we ain't done. More at Kelly's. Later, we have Laura and Spencer.
I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the scene tremendously because they're I mean, and I guess maybe that's the way the show treats Spencer is they will give him a lot of rope and then they'll let him hang himself on it and then somebody calls him to task. And I just enjoy a good Laura trying to straighten Spencer up scene.
Yes. Oh, he froze, you guys. He froze for a second.
Did I freeze?
It could be me or him. Are you back?
Am I back?
You're back. You're back. Okay,
Am I back?
Am I back? I don't know. Am I back?
Are we all back? Are we all back?
Oh, actually, it's me. It says my internet connection is unstable. I'm unstable today, people. I don't believe the internet connection.
He's gonna go off.
I'm gonna go off. We'll go off. That's it. I don't know. It ain't giving time. My hair is crazy. It ain't giving time.
So yes, I just as I was saying, I enjoy a good Spencer being called to the carpet when he gets a little too much, and always enjoy when it's Laura.
Hey, that's like Laura's like your list of people you don't getting like is getting longer and longer or whatever. It's like she's not dumb. Laura's not dumb. She knows something going on with him. And he ain't all lovey-dovey and unicorns and rainbows. You know that. Because he got attitude about Kevin. That's what made her go, excuse me? Excuse me? Like, Kevin. And all of a sudden, Laura, her eyes perked up like, why you got an attitude with Kevin? He stayed with us and we were in Europe and everything. Look at Ryan. Laura was like, they're two different people, folks. They are two different people. Laura got a little defensive.
You know, Kevin is getting mentioned a lot. We haven't seen him, but he's getting mentioned a lot. And I'm just, man, you know, it gets me worried. It gets me worried that we're going in that terrible direction.
Well, you know what's getting me? That you know what I thought? I could be totally off base. What if that's Kevin and not Ryan sitting in the chair? Something happened. The injection was like something happened. I'm just scared. I'm getting scared. I'm like, they keep mentioning Kevin so much. We haven't seen him. Are we seeing him? We think it's not. I mean, I'm getting nervous. They've done it before. They've switched before.
And so then he cut off also Kevin's hand.
Who knows? I'm just like, I'm getting scared. I'm getting scared. Like something's up. Something's up. They're showing Ryan, and they're talking about Kevin. There's something up. I don't know what it is. So you guys can tell me what you think it is. I don't know what it is.
And they haven't mentioned like Kevin's out of town or anything like that.
That's what I'm saying. And there's something up. I don't know. There's something. I don't know. There's something up. I don't know.
I would think now with the absence of a hand on Ryan, at least, it would make it really tough for him to swap places, especially around Love Boy. People know him. Like, why are you always wearing this glove?
I don't know. I'm just saying something. I'm just saying I don't know. I'm just saying it's really big. Yeah, I mean, it's just weird that they mentioned. I'm just saying I don't know if that's true, and I'm just saying that'd be interesting. It wouldn't be far fetched. I mean, soaps do all kinds of stuff. It's not that far fetched, folks. And they do bask on Days of Our Lives, so I mean, it's not that far fetched.
We have yet to see a scene. Usually, if we see a Ryan scene, it more often than not with Ava or Nicholas. Now we'll get a little bit of Alexis and Harmony in there.
Yes,
but really don't see much with Kevin and Ryan.
No.
Man, I just don't. I don't want them selling Kevin down the river. Don't do this.
I don't either. But you bring up. You're not going to segue into this. Harmony is there, helping Ryan and other inmates. Excuse me, other inmates. She explained to Nicholas and Samantha that he is one of several inmates that she is assigned to. She's not doing anybody's bidding. And I mean, it was like, but then there's these letters. And
I do like at least Harmony is, I mean, she was aware enough that she was talking with Alexis that she's like, I would, I know I fell for Shiloh and his whole deal. I would think that I would not make that same mistake again. I would, hopefully. I mean, I'm hoping that she is at least learned something and can be self-aware enough to realize like, yeah. This is a kind of in a way, a powerfully charismatic man, even in his locked in state. I would, hopefully I can catch the signs if I start like, yeah.
Well, I mean, Sam said, I think I believe her because she's on parole. Sam's not on parole. She's like, kind of believe that she doesn't want to go back in. Yeah. She's probably not doing anything and I said, okay, that makes sense. But bringing Harmony back was an inspired choice. I like, okay, sure.
I mean, I'm liking this at least for Alexis. There's a lot. She has easier access to talk with people. Yeah. And you've got Ryan and you've got Harmony there. So there are things that are bubbling up at that facility. So I do like it that you can still have Alexis, paying her penance, but also still have her on canvas and mixed up in stories.
Yeah. Oh, yes. It's working. It's working. Yes. Those letters. They find a letter at the end on Friday addressed to Spencer.
Great. It's about time.
So it's about time.
Yes.
It's going to come out. It's going to all come out. I think
good. Now. The sooner the better. It's just like, because this still seems like such a weird thing to do. So, and I'm hoping that it's something that it spirals more out of control than Spencer, intended it to. But it just needs let's just move on. Oh.
Well, as I'm saying, something's going to happen so it comes out that somehow he's behind this. But Ryan's still writing letters, which they say could be code for things. And so who knows they wouldn't have Ryan there for not a reason. That I always say that he's here for a reason. So them finding about Spencer's part in it, I agree with you. It's probably like I didn't know it would go that far, but now it's gonna go further, and maybe he ends up saving Ava in the situation. It's very much a soap staple.
I would think so, because I would think once the truth came out, and learned that Spencer had any sort of involvement with causing this trauma, to Avery, or making her feel like Avery was in jeopardy. I think it's hard to get together with Nicholas knowing that, oh, great, your son deliberately put my daughter in danger or made it feel like my daughter was in danger.
Right. Well, they're also cousins, folks. Avery and Spencer are cousins. He didn't like Charlotte, his other cousin. He didn't like her too much because she was an interloper, as he thought he said. And then Spencer doesn't treat Cameron like a cousin either. They both call her, well, Spencer calls her grandmother. He calls Laura grandma. But it's kind of weird. They don't act like cousins. They act like they're friends. That's kind of weird. They grew up together.
I at least like Laura after he's, hey, go freshen up, my grandmother's tea. It's like, hey, that she says like, hey, this kid is like,
did laugh.
He's not. He could have gone to college on the West Coast, but he's staying here to be close to family. He's got a job to help pay his way for parts of college. What are you doing? You gotta be doing something in your life.
Yeah, she stood up for Cameron.
Yeah,
and Cameron's like, thank you. He was. So that whole thing is very interesting. See where that goes with that.
It's just nice. As we've talked about Kelly so much, and we had a little bit with TJ there back in the day, but it's just nice to have, one of the teen cast. It's a tried and true thing working at Kelly's.
Yes. And we'll go back to Harmony first coming on. We ended last week at the birthday party that wasn't. So I guess it was off camera at some point. They had an opening present somewhere else, but I guess the strange birthday party that they all did. So I know I'm leading to a storyline I want to talk about, which I'll talk about in a second. Yes, I know. Okay, first of all, let me. People try to read me in here. Yes, Spencer and Cameron are cousins by marriage, but not blood, but they're still raised together. Because one calls the other. He calls Elizabeth Aunt Elizabeth. Spencer's always done that. So they literally were raised like cousins. So I was saying that I have cousins who aren't blood related either, but we are cousins. So we were raised together. We call each other cousins. So and that does happen. We're trying to say that.
Does it seem, and maybe I'm wrong, but it seems to me that the show kind of wrote back a little bit in terms of the Harmony Willow relationship, because she came on, she was forced to work with Cyrus, but I thought at least remember that we rarely saw Harmony come into play at all during that Cyrus storyline, other than initial up top at the beginning.
Yeah.
But at least the conversations that she was having with Willow didn't seem so. I mean, they seem to be at least on some kind of like, hey, maybe we can try to make this work. I don't know. And then to all of a sudden have her show up at the birthday party, it had been so long since we've seen her that the reactions that she was getting from people, I was like, I thought that her and Willow were at least, at some kind of decent place to try to build a relationship from. This one made it seem like, oh, we're gonna roll that back a lot.
So we got to talk about it, I guess. Frank's leading me down like the Pied Piper into the water. I have to talk about this part. Dang it. Oh my God, reel me in.
Yes.
Okay, Frank.
Come on.
You want to know the answer? The water's not fine, Frank. It's not safe to go back in the water. Frank, the reason why this happened is because the writers want to find a way to make Willow upset to go back to the gatehouse so that Michael would follow and they'd have boring sex. That's what they want. That's what they wanted.
Yeah. I agree.
It's a plot device. It's literally, because what I'm saying about what Frank is saying is that he's right. It makes no sense. There was no animosity really. They were on they were okay. They weren't close, but they were okay. But now it's like, let's amp it back up and how dare you show up, and but they had Jason the one going, but she did do this. She did help put away so and so. Like any storyline in the vortex of Michael and Willow to me gets dumber and dumber. It's like a whirlpool, folks. You're right nearby, and it's like, okay, you're about to get a dumb storyline. Here you go. Come on in. Dumb dialogue. Come on in. I mean, it's. I'm just like, really? I'm upset about my child dying, and all this stuff. I will make love.
Oh, that was a sidebar for a moment.
Yes.
To just give a shout out to James Patrick Stewart.
Oh.
The scene between Jason, Carly, Monica, and Valentine. As Valentine is just curious about what's the deal about this whole past. I mean, that I was cool with that scene. It was like Valentine and Jason just having a conversation.
They were. And
I was like, I'm in for this.
Me too.
Great job on that scene. Just like Valentine being curious, asking questions.
Oh yeah.
I was in.
Me too. I tell you, it was great. He said it was very unexpected. It was just like, oh, okay, they're all getting along fine, just talking. And I mean, Monica did apologize to Carly and say we can work it out. Don't worry about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Valentine and Jason talking. I just like going back and forth. I just like I'm like, oh my god, it was good. It was.
Yes.
They've been having a lot of those great conversations actually in the house. I mean, the Quartermain house has been a lot of conversations. That I guess dining room, living room, family room, wherever that is. It's been good. Jay texted to his face. We said it last week. His facial expressions are so I tell people, folks, make sure you watch him in the background. Whenever they have scenes, he's in the background. He makes all kinds of expressions that are hilarious. They're just like to the situation, like we would if we were there. I make those same faces. So Jay, you always check him out in the background. He's always like, oh, either he's impressed or intrigued or he's shady. Like he does great stuff. It's makes you look at his face in the background when you watch the scene when he's not talking. It's really good. Okay, we're back to Michael and Will. I mean, we start frowning again. So at the end of the week before, we were wondering why is Austin seeing Chase standing up? Yeah, like what the whole big about that? Well, we found out this week, Frank, didn't we?
That whole conversation between Austin and Chase, I don't understand. I mean, if you're gonna try to convince Chase stuff like, oh well, this is that, like they're not that what Michael and Will are doing are great because it's stupid. It is beyond stupid what they're doing and why they've never told Chase. But for Austin just to kind of cast judgment on that for a bit, where it's like Chase like, hey, there's a long backstory. I lied to them for the longest time about having an affair. There's a complicated backstory, so it's not just so easy for you to just kind of come in and go, boom, this is what's going on. You should feel like this, Chase. And then to do like a 180 and at the end and go like, you should really just fight for this. Like what? Why? And why are you listening to this, Chase? Why are you listening? That killed me. All of it killed me.
That was part of the killing. Also, the whole I'm gonna get up those stairs.
That where I'm gonna get up those stairs. Austin says, "Hey, if you try that, you could set your recovery back forever." And then after Willow and Michael leave, it's like, I got to get up those stairs. Okay, I'll help you up this time. How's it different now other than you couldn't have caught them than it was 7, 8, 10 minutes ago? It's still gonna jeopardize your recovery, right? But now that they're gone, it's okay. I'll help you up these stairs. That was stupid. So stupid.
So here I am with roller skate Kate. If Chase becomes messy and vengeful, then I'm for it. Anything against Michael and Will, sure. Okay, I'll take it. Okay. Give him something to not be a nice guy anymore and be angry. I'll take it. I'll take it just to see, just for fun. When Austin goes, at least they were safe, and they showed a condom wrapper. I'm like, what am I watching on daytime TV? They showed an actual condom wrapper. I was like, all righty.
I mean, I don't know, like Chase was expecting, like to go up there. I need to see the bed. Like, was he going to roll around the bed and try to, smell some of the scents?
I don't know. Yeah, I know. I'm like, right.
Like, what was the point of this? I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, in the scheme of things, Chase and Sasha did some stuff that was stupid. Michael and Will have not done some stuff that's stupid. I don't. For Chase to all of a sudden go like, I've been betrayed. Well, yes, it'll be nice to put like some kind of dirtiness on him, but also just logically, it's like, just guys, just talk to each other. This whole kind of weird triangle, quadrangle that you guys had going at some point is just all stupid from the get-go. just like I so desperately wanted Chase out right there at the birthday party, just to embarrass the heck out of them and then roll on out. And for that not to happen, and for the student now be dragged out, oh God, it's like I'm drag out a if you're gonna just if you want to drag out a story, make me excited about the story, make me kind of invested in it. The whole logic of the story is so stupid. How can I get invested in you dragging this out? You're making something I don't like last longer. And like say, how can you expect me to be like, yeah, keep doing more of the stuff I don't like?
Yeah, I think I'm sure there are Michael and Will fans out there. I don't know who they are, and if you're in a chat room, let me know if you are, so I can like hit you on the head. No, I don't. I'm trying to figure out who the fans are of them, because they must have some, I guess, and I guess good for you. I don't know who they are, but they're trying. What the soap is trying to do, which is their job, they're trying to make us feel like Michael and Chase are best friends. Willow is the one that's cheating on, but none of it adds up. No, just they didn't set it up correctly. They just didn't, because the whole thing started on a lie that Chase and Sasha started. That's how this whole thing started.
Yeah.
So, and he's brought up several times, I did lie. And blah, blah. So it's like this whole thing. It's like she doesn't do anything lightly. She's in love with Michael. Like, okay, okay. It's just not that simple. This relationship, they didn't set it up. The beats aren't playing the way I think they should. I feel like they're trying to shove Michael and Willow down our Willow down our throats. Like they are the couple. They're the end game. They're the couple to root for. There are other shows on the air right now that I feel like they're doing a way better job than this one. I just don't believe it. I don't see Willow and Chase having chemistry. I don't see Willow and Michael having chemistry. I just don't see it. But I don't know. I thought Willow and Chase were cute originally. I wish they hadn't broken them up. I thought they were fine.
Yeah.
I'm glad Michael and Sasha separated. I'm glad it's separate things, but I just thought I liked Willow and Chase. And if they just did a regular triangle, possibly, then I would go for it. But they did. But Chase lied. He lied first, and kind of, so he should understand what's going on. I mean, it's just I don't know. I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
But folks, I mean, if you guys are some Willow Chase, yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if they're leading us to, because I don't know. Like, is it now he's going to just drag this out until like they're supposed to be nuptials? They're renewing of their vows, and then he's going to call them out on it. And it's like, okay, so what if you called them out on it? I mean, yes, it sucks that they lied to you, but they're still in love with each other. So I don't know. Like, I'm waiting to see like what Chase thinks he's going to get, and how he's going to make them pay.
I would mark him. Michael and Chase would be the hot couple. I'll go for that. Shit. Let's go that. That's more exciting to me. Let's go that direction. Let's explore that for a second. I don't know what's going on. It's just the storyline has so many holes in it, as wrong person. Frank and I just explained that I don't want to talk to them no more. I'm done. I don't talk to them anymore. I'm done. I'm putting my foot down. It's JLJ Media. We're done talking with them for today. I don't want to talk anymore. They're just done. You guys know. Okay. Also, we got. I'm saving this one thing for last. Another storyline I'm saving for last, of course. So Terry and Britt. After Britt talks to Jax. Again, Jax was not a bother this week.
Yeah.
He was not a bother this week. He did fine. And so what do you think about that?
I mean, it seems like that's the way to go, because I don't think the show would have set up this, it's like, hey, either we both do it or neither of us do it to Alice. So now ever go like, well, I guess neither of us are doing it then. See you later. Bye-bye. Yeah, I'm glad they were able to kind of work that out. So that's cool. And it was almost just like for her conversation with Jax, to kind of not have Jax necessarily spell it out, but like for her to just kind of go through like, okay, so I should feel like this because of this and this. She just kind of talked her way to the end point of the conversation.
Yeah. I thought it was fine. I have nothing bad to say. I thought it was a fine conversation. They're friendly. You know, they stuck together, they're friendly. That's fine. I don't see them pushing them together because Jack said we're not dating, we're not seeing I'm not seeing her. I think they just fell into bed because of the circumstance. But I say I think Britt is also on to Carly and Jason too, I think now. I think she's starting to see there's a reason why they're getting married. There's a reason.
No, Britt's run enough cons in her life.
Yes.
She realizes, like, hey, wait a second, this is a little too pat.
Yes, she knows. But I will have to say, another place that got a lot of play this week was the boxing gym.
Yes. Yeah. One last thing before we go to the boxing gym is in terms of the Terry and Britt thing. While I'm all for it, it's going to be one of those things. Like, it all depends on how much the show wants to invest in it.
Well, no, I agree. That's why I stopped talking about it. Like, there's nothing. I mean, I'm with you, Frank. We don't know, and whatever. But I'm for it. If they really do something with the two. I mean, if they up Terry's quotient, I'm all for it. I just curious if they do that.
But I mean, I just think like we have Brad and
Lucas, maybe.
Yeah,
well, I heard Felix is coming back. I don't know what that means.
That's great.
The announcement. Mark Sammy's coming back.
Yeah.
And Gabrielle C. Yes, maybe Terry will find out about Britt's illness. That could happen.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. So that's where I'm going, Gabrielle C. I'm saying now we're going to the gym and we're going to Liesl and Jason and her tracksuit. Oh, Liesl tracksuit. All right, come on. Kathleen Gotti's prettier than that. Come on, folks. Let's throw her in a tracksuit. And she came through the boxing ring to confront him. I'm like, okay, girl.
I did like that. I mean, she's not intimidated. She'll get up in somebody's face that she feels is done wrong by somebody she loves. But I also liked that even afterwards with Anna, she's like, I mean, he was courteous enough to just to hear me say everything I needed to say. So it's like, as angry as you can be at Jason, you also have to be like, all right, he sat there and he let me vent.
I am surprised she's not picking up on it.
Yes.
Again,
because she doesn't know Carly and Jason as well.
That's true. No, you're right. That's true.
I will say the one thing that did bother me the most in the whole kind of the gym scenes was Anna and Liesl using the bag. And the way
that's kind of fun. They were kind of getting into it.
The concept was great, but the way they cut around Kathleen Gotti and hitting that bag, at points it seemed like she never really hit that bag. Like she was just pretending, or she just barely just like made contact. She was like, it was the way the editing of that scene just really like bothered me. I'm like, we never really see Liesl go ham on that bag, and I wanted to see her go ham.
Go ham. I like that. I do like go ham. I mean, she didn't do that. She didn't do that much. You're right. But it was fun to see them talking and actually being civil, and they're actually coming to a conclusion about it's all about Peter.
Yeah,
it's all about Peter. It literally is. They're all together for that. I mean, I'm so glad to see Kathleen they're giving her a wide range of stuff. The whole Brit stuff, the Peter stuff, the Scott stuff. They really are using her, which is great. Oh, they're all good point, Frank. That's funny. But I think, but I don't know. Everyone thinks that their scenes were weird. I don't know. I liked it. I liked it. I thought it was kind of funny. I mean, I like frenemies. That makes me happy.
Yeah, I mean, because I liked it because Anna, as always, we'll retreat back to the legal parameters of an ongoing investigation. Oh, I can't really talk about an ongoing investigation. And I like that Lisa just kind of like knocked that aside. It's like, who are you going to talk to that has more knowledge of the people that are involved in this?
Right.
So at least Anna acquiescing and without saying anything for sure was able to just kind of, allude and kind of say things in a way that's like, all right, I can say certain things to you without feeling like I'm breaking my, WSB obligations.
Yes, that was true. That was good. I know. I thought it was just good. Peter's still out there somewhere, as we know. We don't know where the F he is.
Yeah, I would be curious when we get like the first kind of reveal of Peter that he is, he's still alive and kicking. I'm curious when that's going to be, because I feel like again, I'm going to keep going to the nurse's ball. That's when he's going to pop back up again for real. Going to have like a big stuff, but I feel like you're probably going to see him at least a little bit ahead of time to kind of say like, oh, he's alive and he's going to be working something, and then it all blows up at the nurse's ball.
Lori C says, I'm the same age as Kathleen Gotti, and I can hit the heavy bag. That's why, Lori C, you go, girl.
Yes, Lori C. See,
she can hit the bag. She can hit the bag, Frank. She can hit the bag. She said, "Mm-hmm."
But not Liesl. She was soft touching that thing.
She got soft.
It was. I was like, this is so weird. Why are they doing this?
What's interesting though in the chat room, and I've seen this online too. I'm seeing this in the chat. I'm going to address it because that's what I do. Because we're an opinion show. People are sharing their opinions on Jason and Britt, and I'm actually very. Gabrielle C is about to say it. Just says what I'm about to say. I feel like I don't understand why people don't understand Britt being upset about Jason. I don't understand why people don't understand that. I don't understand why they see in the chat room too. They seem like they don't understand that. I'm like, it's a one night stand and equal. I'm like, but no, it was on that. They were on the run together. They were in close quarter. That's a recipe of coming together. I mean, like it's just kind of one of those things where it's extraordinary circumstance. That's what it is. Sometimes people in real life too, they say they come together faster. And what happens on the shows, like on Survivor and Big Brother, you're sequestered together for every day, all the time with no outside influences. Your feelings happen. I kind of feel like that's kind of makes sense to me. And so I'm just really perplexed. People don't understand why she's upset. Plus, he kind of unceremoniously dumped her after he promised he'd be there for her. They built a connection for months. They did. They saved each other's lives. Okay, if you guys understand, but a lot of folks don't get it. They just think it's just too soon. Why is she getting upset? Sam's love of his life. All this. I'm saying, but for her, it was the promise of something. I think she fell into the vortex of Jason, whether we like it or not, and that was the promise of something. So I don't know. I get why she's upset. I don't know.
I mean, I know there are plenty of Jason fans to this day, but
of course they are, and liaison fans.
There always will be. Yeah. But Sam being the love of Jason's life, I feel like the show has done a good job of kind of being able to distance them so that we're not, at least for me, who's never been a Jason fan. I never have.
Yeah.
But I feel like even the show's acknowledged, like, hey, these guys really don't worry about it. These two aren't happening.
Well, here's the thing. So this week is a little side note, folks. And you guys who are nosy out there saw this. Laura Wright, who's done, she comes to opening an envelope these days. She's like every interview on earth. But I'll never her on my show. That's fine. But she said some stuff the fans didn't like. Ooh, because she is trying to get people into the Jarly world now. That Jarly should have some fans. And I'm like, no, because you guys are best friends. And you also know that Sonny is out there. Why would we root for Jason and Carly? If Sonny was truly dead, then we would root for them possibly. But why would we root for them knowing that Sonny is at the Tano kissing on Nina? That's another story. Why would we? So she got mad. She got mad at the fans.
Wow. I go back to last week with the conversation between Laura and Carly at the Metro Court, where Laura was kind of explaining how her relationship developed with Kevin. Started off as friends and then it grew into something more. And so at least it's her acknowledgement to Carly and Jason saying like, hey, I can see how you've been friends for so long that it can develop into something more. I don't know if that plants the kernel for that. At least certainly Carly is always wrestling with Sonny's death, but does it plant the seed in Carly's head, and whether the show decides to explore this or not, that Carly may be more invested in trying to make this a romantic thing at some point than Jason is at all. Jason's doing this more out of a sense of loyalty and obligation and protecting the people that he loves. And will the show pick up on like, hey, maybe Carly's trying to make this work? Still grieving for Sonny, but also like, hey, maybe this can be something that can develop into a romantic thing. I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't.
I don't know. I don't see any chemistry between them. I see friendship chemistry. They built that for so long that I just don't feel it. I don't.
I agree. I don't want to see it either.
Yeah, I don't want to see it. I don't want them to have sex or anything. I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening. A marriage of convenience, I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. I know some folks think that they're forcing Jason and Britt on us, and I respectfully disagree. I don't think they are. I disagree, but folks think they are. I guess I know. I like Jason and Britt together. I thought putting Jason with someone else than Carly, Sam, Elizabeth. I thought, why not?
Yes.
I like the relationship. Again, knowing that Sonny is still out there, it makes you feel like Carly should be off limits still. I don't know. They've done that relationship before so many times. But usually the person who's dead is off canvas. We don't see them. Then they show up at some point, like Robin and all, they show up later. But this time we know Sonny's still alive. We just know he's still alive. And now we know Drew's coming back. So I'm very curious what the Drew place is going to be in there, because there are some Drew Sam fans still. Oh. And then Drew, I don't want that either. Drew and Elizabeth, because originally when he was John Doe, there was something there. So I'm just saying that there's something we have to think of the Drew factor now in there. Because I don't think Austin's going to be in that whole circle. I think Austin's going to be something else. They keep pushing Austin and Ava together. So the scenes. So I don't know. So I'm saying I don't think we'll be part of that. But I think with this Drew coming back, that will be interesting, because Sam's going to feel some kind of way. He's alive.
Yeah.
So that's going to be very interesting. So I don't know. So I just think, it's going to be a very interesting situation. And they're not going with Nicholas and Elizabeth anymore. They're not pushing that anymore. Even though they had that flashback and stuff, they're not pushing. So it's kind of, so it's going to be very interesting to see this whole, and they've got Dante. Oh. Laura asking Dante, are you seeing any of that? I'm not seeing nobody, Laura. You got all nervous and jumpy. Like Queen Laura's going to strike him down. And she's like, calm down, just calm down. It's going to be okay. Because Lulu apparently, go ahead.
It felt like the show was using Laura as a way to just like, hey, everybody, it's going to be okay if Dante gets together with Sam. In fact, even Laura says it's fine for him to move on. So everybody just, relax. And because we're going to give you this great Dante-Sam relationship. No, it's okay. I don't need it. I don't want it.
I don't either. But I think Drew came back. Something's going to happen there. And again, Sonny is still out there. That's the big wild card. He is still out there, and he is kissing on Nina, and Nina's kissing on him at the Tana while they're letting his results and stuff. So I'm like, that's getting closer too. Will they sleep together? I know folks are like, it's rape, it's this, it's like, you don't know who he is. Whatever. The point is, they're kissing, and I don't know what's going to happen with that either.
This is another storyline along with Michael and Willow, and it's built on stupidity. And so all the fallout that we all know is going to happen, it's, I will have zero sympathy for anybody in any of this, right. Especially Nina. No, zero sympathy for anything that you've done, Nina. Which is, it's just, it's like, how am I supposed to be excited about watching people do horrible things, and then it all blows up in their face, and all this terrible stuff, just terrible ramifications that happen because of that? I'm still not going to feel bad for you at all. Like the fact that nobody's going to let you see Wiley, I'm not going to care.
Well, see, my thing, so I agree with you. My thing is they should have just made Nina go all the way bad and do this on purpose. Like really do it, like go in and seduce Sonny and just go all in. And I'm thinking that could have been, I would have actually gone for that. Not saying I would like that, but I would have gone for that at least. Go ahead, just make Nina crazy again. Let her go all in with that, and that would bug the S out of Carly. That would just bug her to death. Why not? I love bugging Carly. Why not? And so I think, but you're right. They're playing it weirdly, like she has remorse. She feels. It's just she's friends with Ava, whose father is. It's all too weird.
Yeah.
So this whole thing is becoming now, which I didn't mind as much at the beginning. Now it's getting too weird for me. So they need to end the story. Let's see the end of the storyline. They need to kill off Lenny, bring Phyllis back with them back to Port Charles. She works in the hospital. Everybody finds out what's going on, and let it be the mess there that it should be. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, it was interesting that they had Nina and Phyllis talking about like Phyllis's family and how she's kind of estranged from some of them. And I know we've all been talking about, well, maybe that ties into Stella and all that. Is that the case?
I think so. They don't mention nothing for nothing.
Yeah.
There's always reasons why you mention stuff. But I think, but that's the whole point. Like, just get them to Port Charles. And now with everybody else, bring them to Port Charles. Let's get them there now. It's time. Let's get them there, let's see what's going on and work it out. And let's see what's going on. But again, we have Sonny is out there, and folks, I hate to tell you this, Sonny and Jason too. Sonny and Carly are endgame. They're always going to be endgame. That's how General Hospital runs. Yeah. It's going to be they're going to be endgame. So her coming back, just like Robin and Dr. Drake, Patrick, thank you. They're endgame. There's certain ones that are endgame. I feel like Carson is endgame.
Yeah, I feel like the show played around with that relationship too many times. That no, like now it is just locked in. That yes, it is just Sonny and Carly.
Okay, I'm talking about my storyline too. Okay, one of the last things we can talk about: Jason and Brando talk, and Jason's like, "You chose this instead of the mob." No, he didn't say that, of course, but that was okay. Before that, I'll mention this too because Nisa 831 just mentioned this real quick. I have to mention this because it was ridiculous. The FaceTime call.
Well, let me say hi. Let me say hi. Like,
they don't know you. They don't know who the F you are. Why would I let you talk to my grandson and my family? They don't know who you are. I'm not introduced to anybody. Why would that be a problem? Sorry, I'm going to talk to grandson for a second. I'll get back to you in a second. Like, hello. I mean, like, it's not that hard. Let me step out for a second and call. I'm like, and FaceTime. I don't understand.
There is something that really drives me nuts. Anytime that Nina is stuck in a uncomfortable situation, her reactions to that they drive me crazy because she has no sense of trying to play anything off. Nothing.
No game face. No game face. Yeah, no game face. Yes, no game face at all. None.
Yeah. Anybody alludes to anything about poor Charles. Wait, you meant Valentine? How'd you mean Valentine? What's going on? Like, oh, please.
I'm sorry, everybody. Okay, now folks bringing up Brenda. Sonny and Carly are endgame. I'm telling you, I don't write this stuff. I'm not part of it. I'm not saying that I want that to happen. It's just how General Hospital has played this. They've played this for the last 25, 30 years. That's how they played this. Brenda was something at one point, but that's it. I don't think they're going to ever go. Just like Liaison fans, I love you guys. They're not bringing out Jason and Elizabeth together. It's not happening ever again. She was part of a time period. Yeah. Jason and Robin, they were part of a time period. I really do think the way General Hospital, not me, General Hospital is playing it, whether he sleeps with Nina or not, it's still going to be Carly and Sonny are endgame. That's how the show's been treating them. Yeah. Not me. That's how they're treating them.
And I think it really also depends in real life as well. Like if you look at Luke and Laura, everybody would have thought that was like, that's endgame. That's always going to be Luke and Laura. But when Jeannie Francis isn't available on the show and they need to have something for Anthony Gary to do, hey, let's get him together with Jane Elliott and see what happens. All said, like, whoa, hey, this is even better than we thought. The idea of Laura and Luke becoming being endgame, you realize no. And so, if ever came to a point where either Sonny, Sonny or Carly were not going to be on the show, then maybe you could get to that point and you could really develop
I agree. So I will agree with that. I agree with that. They have to leave the show. So one of them has to leave the show for them to even have another relationship. That's really serious because even they said it on the show. We always come back to each other. They've gone off to other people. I liked Sonny with Kate. I liked Sonny with Olivia. I liked with other people. And I liked Carly with Jax. I thought Carly and Sean had a little something at the beginning. I mean, I didn't mind them with other people. It just seems like the show, not me, the show is writing it as such. And I agree with Frank that one of them has to leave the show. Like not just be off in Tano, but leave the show and say they're not coming back, so to speak, for a new, because Luke and Tracy were wonderful and it totally worked. So, Maurice Bernard, the minute he loved Vanessa myself, then more better. I don't believe he said that. You guys need to send me a clip where he says that. I don't believe he said. I'm not going to believe this person he said that he's not diplomatic enough that he would say that. I know he likes Vanessa Marcel, of course. Oliver too, and Laura Wright. But I want somebody to send me a clip. You tag me on Twitter or whatever, where he actually says the words, "I love Marissa Marcel better than Laura Wright." I'm curious, or that I like her more than Laura. I like that race more. I want to see it. If he did, I'll share it. If he did, I'll share it on a page. I want to see that. I want to see that. Because I think Maurice he's very open, but he's usually very diplomatic. He say he loves all his Carlys. He loves all the Carlys that he's worked with, and everything. So I don't know. Not bad. But I know. But I'm just saying the show presents it this way. Not me. Not what we think. The show presents it as if that against all odds, Carson will prevail. And so, and Maurice and Carly and Laura did say, hold on, folks. Well, we're getting back to where you want us to be at some point. They actually went online and talked about it. So they're gonna get back. That's what they say. They're gonna get back. So I don't know. I think right now it's dragged on too long. We need to bring him back to Port Charles. They need to all come back. Let's come back to Port Charles and do that. Or keep Lenny alive. Bring Lenny too. Bring everybody. Just bring more people and make him relate to somebody, and we'll see what happens.
I did see that. Mike kind of changed the oil, so to speak, on that hair.
Yes, he did a little bit. Which
is a shame because I thought, like, hey, I mean, at least in Instagram photos, I would see Maurice kind of rocking the full gray.
Yes.
And I was like, hey, this would be a great thing to kind of show. It's a totally different Mike/Sonny when he comes back to Port Charles. If they just let him kind of go to the natural gray, and it's like, hey, this is a totally different thing now. But for whatever reason, that's not happening.
Yes. Maurice even say he liked Jennifer Bransford's Carly. He said he liked all the Carlys. So I'm saying, he loved Wes Marcel. He loves all his co-stars. He does, but I don't think he said better. But yeah, show me a clip he says it, and I will totally say, okay, here's the clip. He said it. I have no problem with that. I never heard them say that anywhere. One of the last things that's kind of funny. No. It's kind of funny. Frank hates it, I'm sure.
Yep.
Sasha calls BLQ together. I got an assistant for you. Oh, really? Okay, go. And here comes Gladys. And her face was like our face. We're like, what?
That whole storyline is stupid. But the way that those scenes were structured, where I don't know Sasha fully knows how Gladys is. You would knows how she reacts, how she acts in any situation. So why they decided to write that scene of her being coy with BLQ and say, "Oh, I get you an assistant, it's great," and then after that have the scene. It's like, "Hey, I need you really to do this for me and Brando." Like, why did we write it like that? It's I don't know what the point of that was, other than just to get to like, oh, hey, we can have that really great moment when Gladys comes in and just ruins life for everybody.
Which again, I know some folks don't like Gladys. I like her. She's supposed to be a bother. I like her. And that's the point. But this storyline's even stretching it for me a little bit. It's kind of like, but it made it also seem like Brooklyn is warming up to her for real, kind of like, just give Gladys a chance. You love Sonny, you love Mike. No, you love Mike. You loved Mike, remember? And blah blah. And I'm just like, is that my mother actually having a good time over there? Like, so I'm like.
The stupidity that they write for Gladys, it just, as much as I talked about last week, like, I'm sure there are probably people that act this oblivious in the world when it came to like, where am I going to live? What am I going to do for work? This week, when they have Brooklyn ask, well, what's your background? And she talks about her ethnicity. Like, what?
Lithuania stuff, I know.
Come on. You cannot be that stupid. Please, that was just, it wasn't funny. It was just making the character just so stupid. You're like, this is dumb. This scene does not play as funny as you think it does, writers. Oh
yes.
And yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you want to do like a Taming of the Shrew kind of thing with BLQ and Gladys, yes. I felt like, okay, maybe that's a possibility. She sees at least a little bit of potential in Gladys, and if this is a way for Gladys to be annoying, or at least become more proficient or better, or at least at her age, more, at least a little bit more mature when it comes to dealing with people and situations, I'm all for it. And not that it's going to be super easy. I'm sure it'd be a challenge for BLQ to make that happen. But to already take BLQ as, who sometimes can be great, and she's evolved emotionally during the whole Maxie baby thing, but she still has her stupid sides as well. But to have somebody like that also realize, like, all right, I've got to help fix this woman, because I love Mike so much, I'm going to do this, and I see some potential in her. That maybe could be interesting, but it's got to happen fast because I can't stand Gladys.
I will agree with Annie Go and I actually are going to agree on something. I usually don't agree with her, but I'm going to agree with her on this. Your buddy Annie. I'm going to agree with her. She's here today. I'm going to agree with her. They need to give Gladys a redeeming quality for us to warm up to her and want her around, in my opinion. I actually agree with that, Annie.
I do as well. And Annie, I will agree with you more than, James never will agree with you. I will agree with you on it as well on this.
I usually don't agree with Annie. That's fine. Annie and I go way back. I usually don't agree with her, but that's fine. But that time I agree with her. That one, I'm like, that they do need to show us something. Because she did help out, kind of, bring down, what's his name? Kind of. It was like she got shot for him, but that didn't change her at all. She's still the same. So we need something. You're right. I agree with you. Something to get her, And Martin, she said she was half Lithuanian and half something else. And that the Lithuanian thing came out several times. That was her. That was the ethnicity she brought up.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you got pores the size of nickels. Like,
I know.
Come on, seriously? No, I thought I almost had that lady. I almost had her. No, you didn't, Gladys. You didn't. And if you can't even realize what you said was just so wrong, what's the point?
Yes, I know. So I don't know. That's one they put them together. So I guess we'll see what happens. I guess I don't know with that twosome.
To kind of go back as we're talking with Sasha, but the Brando Jason side of it as well. I felt like at least last week that we kind of been said that Brando made his choice, and it felt almost like that Jason scene what kind of served the purpose to make Brando kind of think, oh yeah, wait, maybe I can be in this and it's okay. So I don't know if that was the point of that scene or not.
It was a weird scene. No, it was a weird scene. I'm glad they talked because they do have a relationship of sorts. But I agree with you. It was a little slightly confusing. So like, well, was it more for Jason? Or was it more for Brando? Was it? I wasn't sure either. I'm sure either. I'm sure didn't either. Yeah. I just told you, Eddie and I go way back. That already. Like, go ahead.
No, it was because I thought we kind of worked through the whole ultimatum kind of thing with Curtis and Brando and their conversation at the opening of his place. But for Jason to kind of bring it up, it's like, oh yeah, did she give you an ultimatum? And Brando's like, oh no, in the nicest way possible. And it's like,
right.
Well, no, she was just like, this is just where I'm coming from. Just so you know, it's not an ultimatum,
Right. Yeah. But you're right. It was kind of slightly weird, but it was good. It makes sense for them to talk. That's what they do talk.
To go with the Jason, because it feels like they're really writing it that Jason is. He's really feels terrible about what he did with Britt, and it is sticking with him. Jason's usually a guy that can kind of at least move on, but anytime the whole subject of Britt comes on, it really is sticking with him. And so I'm curious how they're going to play that with Jason. And what Jason will do because this seems to be affecting him so much.
Yes. Oh, folks, we went on an hour and a half. We talked it out, and I have a thing to do at 6, so we're going to end the show.
We gotta go.
I know, folks. I think Frank and I talked it out, and so did you guys in the chat room. The chat room was hot, Frank. It was hot. Everybody was talking in the chat room. I'm gonna do a little shout outs. Haven't done in a while. Rodelli, Gabriella C, Annie Goen, Lori C, Joe Costanzo, Daisy Flower 40, IETV and Movie Talk. Is that for Inland Empire? Let's see, Marlon Wallace, who I know, of course, I've met in person. Nisa 813, Nathan Banks, AAJR 72, or is that AA Junior 72? T. Cherie Marshall. See, I'm gonna make sure I guess. Usually Carter's better at this than I am. Let's see what's going on. Let's see. I don't know if I missed anybody. I know Kirsten was in here at one point. Someone TN. There you are. Hello. So I guess that's. But there's also 40 of you in here also other than that. So whoever you guys are, thank you. I appreciate you guys coming in here and joining us. Kristen Marie, there you go. I said Nathan Banks, right? Okay. You guys come in here with us every week. Also, you show up. My shows are just like they're again #1 shows of the DT Durr. That's right. I say to see you. The shows are my #1 shows on the network. Of the video and the audio, so you can listen to us if you want to. Subscribe wherever you go, get your podcasts. So it's iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, Go there, find Jason Me Spotlight, hit that follow button. You'll always be told when the next episodes are out. And it's a number one. We just passed, was it 40,000 downloads or something? I mean, like, it's just crazy, Frank. They love us for some reason. I don't know what's going on.
They really love us, James.
Oh my God, I know we're mean, so I don't know why you like us. And then our audio and our video show, of course, is on JLJ, YouTube channel. So go ahead and George Blackman. I see you there. You're in there too. Blackman in there also. Yeah. So it's everybody just shows up. So we appreciate that. Check out our interviews. Check out our shows. You guys are actually also watching our older shows. So I mean, they're still getting lots of play. So please continue to watch and see what we say. Yell us back, which many of you do. It's fine. We're all here for debates. We're all here to talk it out, and have a place to talk about General Hospital on ABC daytime. Frank Moran.
Yes. They can find me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie. And I know James. I know we've got something huge happening in 2 weeks.
Oh yes, that's right. We don't announce that just yet. See, Frank's being Shady Sunday, so we're not going to announce that just yet. But we'll be here next week to give you more feel of that. And next week, I'll announce to you what's happening the week after that.
Oh, guys, what better reason to tune in?
Yes, exactly. Yes, we are real. We do tell it like it is. We do. And you can follow me. We're all James Lott Jr.'s are sold at James Lott Jr. and all social media platforms. I'm also on TikTok. I am TikTok famous at James Lott Jr. because of this thing right here, the bread. Go watch that video and you'll understand what I'm saying. Everyone, please have a great week. Don't kill each other. Wear a mask or get vaccinated, and I'll talk to you next time. And he'll talk to you next time. We'll all talk to you next time.